Howie.
We have had a very mild winter. November, December, no storms. But we were hit with one terrific storm in January, 27 inches at Central Park, big storm. One industry which is affected tremendously when we get a big storm is the airline industry. The person that I want to give his perspective is Rich Kaplan. Talk about what it does to the airline industry, from what planes have to deal with, de-icing, what the airlines have to do, getting the planes able to fly. Because when you get hit with horrible weather, it really is a huge problem for the airline industry. And to talk about it and give us the details on what airlines have to do to get up and running during these severe storms is Rich Kaplan.
Thank you so much, Howie. Good evening, Long Island. Good evening, Long Beach. A special good evening to West Islip, where my best friend lives. The skies are now cleared. We've just been cleared for takeoff, so let's fly. On January 24th, 2016, a major winter storm known as Jonas, when I don't think they named it after the brothers, aka the blizzard, crippled airport operations at our area's big three airports. The storm caused widespread cancellations at JFK, LaGuardia, and Newark. It was unclear if Sunday would be any better. As we found out, it wasn't. And they did not get back to normal operations. And by normal operations, I mean all the runways were cleared, all the airlines that operate, including our foreign carriers, were flying normal schedules by Tuesday. I'm going to explain why this happened and the impact that storms like this have on the industry. Due to the large number of flights operated by airlines such as JetBlue and Delta, the cities all over the United States, not just New York, were affected. For example, let's say that we have Samantha, who's scheduled to fly on JetBlue to Los Angeles, and we have Julie, who's scheduled to fly to Texas on Southwest. These two carriers were affected by this storm because the storm grounded all air operations out of LaGuardia, Newark, MacArthur, and Islip. So as a result, you have a doppelganger effect because these flights are not going to these airports. Therefore, these airports aren't getting the revenue from these flights. Now, de-icing airplanes is a vital part of winter operations at the big three airports. I had the liberty to not only talk to the Director of Maintenance Operations at JFK, but to actually give you an inside look at how de-icing works. This is a rare event. There are 4 types of de-icing liquids that are used on commercial jets. This is the Airbus A380 Super Jumbo, in this case operated by Qantas of Australia. We are QF007. I am Captain Rich Kaplan. I request a de-ice. What is going to happen is that several trucks are going to surround this aircraft. They are like sky cranes. They will squirt de-icing liquid onto the jet. There are 4 stages of de-icing liquids that can be used. One of them is no longer in use, and I'm going to allude as to why. It was incredibly toxic. It actually killed one of the workers. That's why they will never use stage 2 de-icing. Now, the de-icing itself is basically ethylene propylene glycol. Propylene is preferred due to its non-toxic nature. The chemicals are extremely hot when they enter the wing surface. Now, if Rocco can give you a close look, I'm actually going to show you. These are our leading edge flaps. These would be extended for takeoff. These are our spoilers. These are armed by the pilot when the aircraft lands. If ice is on these surfaces, the plane cannot fly and will literally drop out of the sky, hence the term laminar flow. This happened to an American Eagle flight out of Chicago, Illinois, an ATR 72, built by a French company called Eritilia. He couldn't get lift and he fell into a farm field. 56 passengers were killed. That's why de-icing is so vital. Stage 1 de-icing will last for about an hour. Now, in case anyone is curious to what it costs to de-ice an aircraft, I actually did that for you as well. We have Captain Pasafumi operating a Delta Boeing 737 with 168 passengers on board. The co-captain on this flight, Howie, would request for a de-ice. A stage 1 de-ice would cost $800, but here's where it gets interesting. The stage 1 de-icing liquid will only last you for about maybe a half hour before you have to return to the gate to de-ice again. So what the airlines can request is stage 4 de-ice. Stage 4 is extremely powerful de-icing agent. This will last for over 2.5 hours. It was developed after the crash of Air Florida Palm 90, ironically on the day my dad died, January 13th, in the 80s. Stage 4 de-ice would coat the entire wing, your tail, your body. Basically, your entire aircraft is so slippery that if you were to sit on the wing, you probably slide right off. That is what this liquid does. It literally makes it so ice will not stick to the surface. When you add stage 4 to the equation now, Captain Pasafuni's jet to de-ice will now cost $8,000 instead of $800. It is expensive. On an Airbus A380, I also did the math, it's $25,000. That's why the airlines hate winter weather. They lose money, passengers suffer, people wait. One idea that I am going to be proposing in the coming weeks, I have been writing a series of suggestions to Congress to protect people like us, is a passenger bill of rights. When an airline has a situation with a blizzard, when it's over 6 inches of snow and the airport most likely is going to close, passengers are either given the option of a refund or they should be put up in a hotel with the appropriate accommodations. If you have people who are diabetic or people with medical conditions, they get their medication, they get what they need. The fact is that winter storms don't just affect the airlines, they affect all of us. And Jonas affected a lot of people. Philadelphia completely shut down. American Airlines, which is the largest airline operating out of Philly International, and I would like to credit A.L. Kashani for this part of the segment because he was the one who gave me the numbers and everything. Thank you, A.L., AJ. Basically, 100% of all air traffic out of Philly was shut down. Nothing came in, nothing got out. What's so important about this is if you have a package coming from UPS, you're affected because UPS's main hub is out of Philadelphia. They operate at the 11, 747s, 767s, and 757s. The majority of your packages either are going to come from Louisville or out of Philly. This is serious. Storms like this wreak havoc. I want to conclude by informing people of what it takes to clear the runways at JFK. Because a lot of you ask, well, how many runways are at Kennedy Airport, Rich? You know, how many miles of taxiway? I actually want to credit one of my friends for being very thorough with me and making sure my facts are accurate, because I check for you guys constantly. Julie, thank you so much for making sure I get this right, because without you, we wouldn't be flying. Thank you. JFK has 12 miles of wide runways. These are your main runways, such as runway 31, runway 22. These are the main runways that the A380 will be most likely taking off from. You have 45 miles of taxiway and countless miles of vehicle and service traffic. To secure just the runways requires 6 massive snowplows operating on a continuous loop. Now, these snowplows are not like the ones that you see on your highways. These are equipped with de-icers, they're equipped with everything, even laser sensors to determine if there is in fact ice on the runway. These guys do not mess around, and that's why I feel very safe flying out of New York airports, especially LaGuardia. Because LaGuardia, even though they're a small airport, they know what they need to do. They have the same amount of equipment. All the airports work in unison to make sure everything is safe. That's going to do it for this edition. The skies have now been cleared, and I've just been informed by air traffic control we are cleared for takeoff. See you guys next week, and let's go Broncos.
All right, great job, Rich Kaplan. And folks, when I heard, when I saw the storm that we got, I thought about the airlines, and I knew Rich would nail it, and he did a great job as usual.